Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and I like watches. It sounded like I was doing a confession right in the beginning. Today we're going to be checking out a new release from Orient. It's been a while since I did an Orient new release. I think the last one I did was probably the 36mm Bambino. I don't know, something like that. It's definitely been a long time. Today it's I already got the name wrong, Weekly Auto King Diver Auto Weekly, whatever it is. We'll see it. It's in 3 colors. Really nice looking watch, throwback to a 1965 release from Orient. People don't realize Orient's been around for a number of years. I think they recently celebrated 70 years in business, so definitely a lot of history there. I am sporting my ISL 18 with that red seconds hand and the polished settling bracelet, and my Squalid Matic with the blue dial. Oh my goodness. I realize summer is almost over. Well, I guess the unofficial summer is over. But what a summer watch. I love this watch. I'm so glad to have it back on my wrist. It's large, it's blingy, it catches the light, and the blue is perfect. Okay, let's see what Orient's got cracked up for you today. So we are getting into the Orient King Diver reissue 200 meter watch with automatic movement. So like I said let me get that off of there. Like I said in the intro, this is a recreation of a watch that was released in 1965. So we're looking at, 35, 45, so 55, this is like the 55-year anniversary. It is the King Diver, so it says it on the dial, and it says Weekly Auto Orient. I assume it's weekly because it has a day of the week indicator at the 6, which is really slick looking. Date, your normal automatic watch stuff. Runs on Orient's own in-house 6922 automatic movement that supports hand winding and hacking. Second hand stops and pull at the crown. I guess we're getting right into it, huh? One click out, one direction will change the day. Only one language, see that on the bottom? The way will change the date. Okay, roughly a 40-hour power reserve. We'll talk about the crown in a second. Diameter 43.8 millimeters. So they made it larger than the original. So some of you probably won't be very happy about that. So 43.8 in diameter, 14 thick to a very slightly domed mineral crystal. Very slight. It sticks up. It definitely sticks up out of the case a bit, but then it domes just a tad. It is 50 millimeters on the lug tip to lug tip. It is kind of an odd 20 millimeter lug width. Keeping with the vintage look on the bracelet, going with a 20 millimeter on a 44 case, definitely a bold maneuver. I'm not sure what's going to pay off for them, but 20 millimeter on the lug width. We are looking at a price tag of around $400. Nice. The bracelet is very nice. It's held together with pins. Okay, and it's solid links, and it is solid end link, if you can see it there. It's a 2-position micro adjust clasp with no safety fold over it. Yes, it's a stamped clasp. The part numbers on all of them are this RA-AAOD O, and then like a 1B, a 2 something, a 3 something. You'll see on the other 2 models. So it's a black dial. This guy's a black dial. The crown at the 2 is to rotate the internal bezel. You notice I stated that this is a 200 meter water resistant dive watch, but you'll see that when I wound it before, it's not a screw down crown. Contrary to what people believe, you do not need a screw down crown to get 200 meters of water resistance. Water resistance can be taken care of between the stem and the tube. It does not need to have a screw down crown. The screw down crown is an ISO requirement, and it protects against unwanted ejection of the crown while you're diving, because that would be bad for the watch, because then you start moving it, and then you can get water in the case. But the 2 o'clock crown is not screwed down either, and that's what rotates your internal dive bezel. Pretty cool. So it is a normal bezel. It's just on the inside, right? Like I said, the case size is a little bit large at near 44 millimeters. If you look at the case package, very, very nicely done. Weekly Auto Orient, the King Diver. It's got, the movement is made in Japan. Epson, who now owns or controlling share in Orient, and water resistance 220 atmospheres, which is 200 meters. So let's come back a bit. And so this is the black one. there's two other colors, and I think, oh, you know what, this is actually worth noting. Unlike one of the other recent reissues, the SK reissue, I think I'm getting the name right. The original Auto Orient, when the original King Diver came out, it was only 40 meters of water resistance. So it's nice to see they actually upped it to 200, which is kind of like now an industry standard. They didn't keep it at like 40 or 50 meters like they did with one of the past reissues, which was really a sticky point. This is now a maroon dial, much like the Kamasu is done in that red dial. Maroon dial, but then the internal bezel is still done in black. We'll check out the lume in a minute. It's got these interesting, all of them have these interesting lume dots on the dial. But the dial color is awesome. Check out that red, maroonish kind of dial. There we go. The 22 on the dial face, I'm guessing that's number of joules in the movement. Kind of not something I really researched too much, but I couldn't find too much on it right in the beginning. But there it is from the back again, solid screw down case back. Weekly Auto Orient King Diver. It's a mouthful, sure, I know. And then, maroon's not your thing, they did this awesome green. Check this out. Again, just like the Kamasu, the green is an extremely popular color on the Kamasu. I'm just trying to get the color right. Get the hands out of the way. The hands are done really nicely. I like the arrow on the hour hand. The nice termination on the minute hand. Just come in a little bit. There we go. So you can see on the bottom of the dot it says Movement Japan, and it has the references. Really slick looking, really nice. Logoed crowns. Very, very nice. Very good looking. Let's flip the lights out and see how it glows. So I want you to get a feel for actually what you're looking at. I'm just gonna turn on a flashlight for a split second. Not to charge it, that's not with UV light, but look at the watch. Ready? So you'll notice that all of you had those little dots on the dial themselves. That's kind of what's helping you tell the time. So it gives a very small appearance to the dial face when the lights go out. You will notice that the internal rotating bezel has absolutely no lume on it. In my opinion, not a wise choice. It's not an ISO diver, but still a little bit of luminescence on that internal rotating bezel would have been cool. Maybe they're trying to keep with the original, but obviously they increased the case size, so they could make some changes. I guess that was not one of them. So there it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, 50 millimeters tip to tip. Again, I wear watches that are way too big for me, but I really don't think this is terribly tremendous. I do feel that due to the configuration of the watch, it does look, it wears fine. It looks a lot smaller than it really is. The dial size on this guy, so forget the internal bezel. The dial size is coming in at like 29 millimeters. So just for comparison's sake, let's see, I probably have an SKX sitting here. I do, right? Doesn't everybody? The crystal on here, or the dial really, is like 29.5 millimeters. So it's not terribly larger in size appearance, talking the dial, than a 43 millimeter diver, being at 44. I know 44 is only 1 millimeter difference, but it does make a difference because the case is bigger. There's a lot of bigger things going on. It's larger on the tip to tip, but I still think that it does not appear as large as you may think it is. So I think that'll about do it. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the Orient King Diver reissue, the Weekly Auto Orient. I'm assuming Weekly Auto Orient, by the way, is kind of like a translation from Japanese into English, where sometimes when you do a verbatim translation, it simply doesn't make sense. And I'm guessing that's where the terminology Weekly Auto Orient comes from. If you speak Japanese and have any insight to that, I'd love to hear it. That'll do it. It has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the new Orient King Diver. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.